Alright guys, this is it. You know the drill. You know what's happening. We're doing these daily updates. I know I said meet back next time, and I know this video is coming out at a different time, so you'll have to excuse me on that one. But they released the preview a little bit earlier in the day, so we're good to go. And today we've got the highly anticipated DUOS mode, part 5. Here we go. 2 new modes. DUOS, you got the DUOS. It's what we wanted. We know DUOS. It's like you have a 2-person team. Presumably you'll be able to queue as a solo player and hit some random. Although, I mean, that just sounds like a bad idea. But hey, whatever floats your boat. If you don't have a friend, you gotta do what you gotta do. Like I know all that life. But I'd recommend getting a friend. Because this is a very fun mode. It's really cool. This Underlords DUOS is probably my number 2 most anticipated feature of this entire update, right after the jail feature, which I spent the last video just jerking off really hard. I really like jails, but DUOS is a pretty close second. I mean, that's an easy number 2 hype. People are freaking out about the Underlords because it's like the name. It's like, whoa, these Underlords, that's cool. I don't even give a shit. DUOS is really cool. This is where it's at, okay? So, you partner up, and now we've got a little more information about how this is going to work in this game. So you're going to be against 7 other gangs. So it's a 16-player lobby. There's 8 groups of 2-player gangs, I guess. And basically, it's identifying that you're going to share the same health and level. So that's actually quite interesting. I guess your XP bar is going to be bigger, or maybe it'll stay the same. And you both contribute to it, and your level will kind of go up together, and your health will go down together at the same time. You can spend gold and heroes to help your teammate complete alliances and rank up their crew. So this is the big attraction. You can basically trade gold and heroes, right? So, I'm going to be building one comp, my teammate is going to be building one comp, and we're going to send heroes back and forth based on what the other needs, right? Which, hey, that's really cool. That's where the team play is going to come in, right? So the number 1 thing this is going to incentivize is you're going to want to make sure you're not really building any of the same units as them, right? Maybe you're building 2 comps and maybe you can kind of share one of the units, like as some random ass example. Let's say I'm building elusives and my teammate is building hunters. Maybe we can both share like Windrunner and Marana. But honestly, it seems kind of like a bad idea. Like if we both have 6 Windrunners, if we both have the ability to each get a 2-star Windrunner, it feels like someone should probably be 3-starring that Windrunner. So that's kind of an example of the kind of comp situation you might not want to have with your teammate. This kind of forces you to pick your comp kind of tactfully, because there's certain comps like Hunters and Elusives are a great example that kind of both want a 3-star unit, right? And because you're both trading units back and forth, you're going to be 3-starring a lot more units, right? The DUOS meta, unless they change the probability, which they haven't mentioned they're going to do, is probably going to be a lot more about 3-starring units. And so you can't pick an alliance that wants to play for the same potential 3-star, right? Maybe Knights and Elusives could be more okay because, for example, it's more okay for Elusives to not run Luna, that's fine. But both Elusives and Hunters kind of need Windrunner, at least in their current forms. So you're going to have to definitely kind of decide your comp a bit based on what your teammate's doing, right? And this is, of course, very interesting. And you can help each other hit interest points early on, I guess, as well, because you can apparently send gold to them. So that's really cool. There's going to be a lot of tight communication. Like, you're actually going to need to communicate with your teammate. This is going to be really fun. When this launches, I'm personally just going to jam DUOS mode. This is honestly great. Again, this is the number 2 thing I'm looking forward to. Like, I have like a bunch of people like already that I'm kind of like I can't wait to play with. I think it's gonna be really cool playing with like other top players as well. Let's actually read the rest of this. Teams face off in 2 individual battles against another duo with round damage added up from both fights. Okay, so basically like how I guess it works is like if my team and my teammate, or like if my board and my teammate's board both win against the duo pair that we hit, then we'll deal cumulative damage from like both of our boards winning. And I guess if one team wins and one team loses, it'll probably take the difference, so you can lose like a little bit of health. Like if my team loses like 15 health and my opponent's team and my teammate's comp wins by 12, deals 12 damage to the opponent, we'll probably take 3 damage off that. Would make the most sense, because it wouldn't, I mean, we can't both lose the health unless we have a double health bar. Those are 2 ways. We're not sure exactly how that's going to work. But ultimately, it'll kind of end like the same end result if they double the health bar and everyone loses health twice as fast, versus if they keep the health bar the same and just have it subtract the difference on how much health you lose. Should end up being basically the same. So yeah, there's not even a ton to say about this. I mean, the strategy is basically you want to avoid your teammates' comp more than anything. You're going to be making decisions as a group, which is something I really love. I love playing card games. I've done this a few times in the past. You guys have seen some videos on this channel where it's like me co-oping like a game, where, you know, we'll play like a game together. It's a great way to like prep for tournaments as well. Just make sure, you know, because some people, you know, you can get set in your own opinions, and it's really important to like play with other top players and share those opinions. It's just going to be a lot of fun. Like, there's kind of no downside to this. It's pretty simple, but it's pretty amazing at the same time, right? So that's going to be the big strategy here. Okay, I guess we're moving on. Next part of the big update is Freestyle mode. In this mode, you have full control of the board. You can create any scenarios you can think of. So you can use this to explore army composition or test new hypotheses. Pretty sweet. You can share your design with friends and community. So you can quickly create any scenario you wish and share your encounters with the community. Neat. And that's basically it. So it's kind of like dev mode. If you guys play this game a lot, you're familiar with dev mode, where you can kind of do the same thing, but it's had a pretty clunky interface for a while, right? So this is a much more streamlined version, I guess. It's gonna be great. Like, if I'm curious about an interaction, I guess I'll just be able to jump into this, set up the board situation I want, and test it. Dota has had this kind of basically the same mode concept for a while now, and people use it a lot. So I'm really excited for this. This is something I will definitely use. I had no idea this was coming out, right? This freestyle thing. So that will be really, really cool to see. And it looks like that's kind of it for today. There's not a ton to talk about. And I guess the last thing to think about is maybe some of the strategies that duos mode could lead to. I know we're kind of bouncing around here, very disorganized in the real swim and stream fashion. I haven't really planned out the script or anything. I should. I'm a very terrible YouTuber. But basically, the idea is there's certain strategies that this duo system could lead to. For example, one thing that's quite interesting, and I think that probably the single biggest thing is that the meta in duos is probably going to revolve around like role value as opposed to level value. Would be my prediction, unless they give like some incentivize to take like that level up. So basically the reason for that is because you're sharing pieces with each other, right? So when you have like two different people buying units together, you're effectively going to be able to, you know, if you have one person that's buying, I don't know, let's look at the new units. You're buying shadow demons, right? The other person can share their shadow demons with you, and you're going to, as a team, get twice as many shadow demons. So on average, the time it takes you to find 9 of something will be halved, which is pretty crazy, right? So 3 stars are probably going to be very rampant, and that means it's kind of a good departure from how things have been recently, where, you know, there's kind of 2 distinct strategies in the game. You either level up early and then just kind of spend your time rolling after you hit like level 8, or sometimes even 7, sometimes even 6 with that one build, you know, I'm talking about. Or you level to 9 really aggressively and roll much more slowly, right? You have kind of 2 disparate builds, which are like the roll value builds and the level value builds, right? So in duos, it looks like it's probably going to be a lot more about level value. We're going to have a departure, you know, away from definitely like this concept of level value good stuff, and you're going to see a lot more just like kind of full high synergy alliance. You're going to see like combat comps, like, you know, knights, elusives, hunters, whatever. Like, I mean, basically, you know, whatever you want to see, like assassins, right? You're going to see kind of like more full on compositions, which is pretty cool. And also perhaps you could see the inclusion of some weird strategies, like for example, like snowballing one player much harder than the other, you know, like kind of support carry fashion. The logic of which being like, if you have one board that's winning every fight super hard, maybe then it's like it's kind of impossible to lose health. I don't know if that's actually a good idea. But you're gonna see people mess around with interesting strategies like that, right? Like maybe dumping like all their resources into one player and kind of see how it works out. And honestly, I mean, that's a fun concept to mess around with, you know? There's a lot of possibilities we have in duos mode, to say the least. All right, and I guess that's basically it, but let's see, we still have a few more days of previews, so come back tomorrow for more. So I think what this means, we've been thinking about, you know, when the patch is going to come out. I've been thinking recently it'll probably be Wednesday or Thursday of this week. You know, they usually patch on Thursdays, but they've done a couple of patches. Some of the more recent patches even have been on Wednesdays. Maybe to give themselves a bit more time. A few more days of previews to me. You know, I mean, today is the 21st. You know, a few says to me, I think this patch is going to be on Thursday, the 24th of October. It seems pretty likely. It does seem so. There's speculation that it could, in theory, be pushed next week. I kind of hope it's not, and I mean, we don't know for sure. They were saying they were gonna like do the previews until patch day, so I think Thursday this week is a pretty good bet. But I mean, there is a chance we'll be disappointed and it'll get shoved away for. God, I hope not. I hope not. But I guess until then, at the very least, we have preview days to look forward to. So I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow. They still haven't done Underlords yet. They still haven't done the Underlords themselves. And I believe this patch is also bringing to the table City Crawl as well, which we have no idea what that's about. Maybe some kind of single player campaign, who knows. So there's still a ton of game changers. We're going to have to figure out, you know, where they are as they come. But we've covered the two most hype ones so far for me. Number 1, JL. Number 2, DUOS. They're simple concepts, right? I mean, this is just a few sentences, but so much potential here. So I'll see you guys tomorrow for preview part 6, I guess.